Wityana's always been a natural performer. It's in his blood, it's in his DNA. Your eyes are drawn to him.
3D, yeah. 3D now. 3D, yeah.
When I first met Wityana Marika, he was young and handsome and all the women were chasing him. And I thought, wow, how's this guy going to settle down at home and really get serious around traditional law and all that?
Wityana transformed from, the dreadlocked superstar rock star into a leader of his people.
He looked at himself that he's ready to do this. He can do anything. That's the kind of leadership that he carries now.
He's an archbishop, he's a high court judge, he's a professor, he's a councillor, he's like a Lord Mayor, and he also happens to be a rock star.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Manma.
Wityana means morning star. So the night that Wityana was born, his father's brother had a dream. And the dream was this young boy coming towards Wityana's father with a little white flower, which was a star. You think about that. A star was born that night. Wityana Marika.
That's the star that I am. So I want to be a star. Film star, rock star, and the star of my birth. Before becoming a real star.
Wityana grew up in the community of Yothu in northeast Arnhem Land. It's an incredibly remote part of Australia, on the eastern edge of the Northern Territory. Yothu is the home of the Yolngu people. There are 13 clan groups. Wityana was born into the Rirratjingu clan.
1961, that was the year that I was born. Here in Rirratjingu, the beginning of becoming a songman. Mom told us that Dad used to sing into the belly, maybe 2 or 3 months pregnant. The special message that you are going to listen to this song. When you will be born, you'll be already prepared. It'll be in your system. This was a place that I spent a lot of time when I was a boy. A paradise. Away from distraction and only you and the nature and the spirit of the land.
Wityana learnt the songs from Dad by sitting next to and clapping with his clapsticks and just following the lyrics and the words. When the old man say, hang on, you're really good. You're going to be a songman. Don't be shy. Put your voice out there. We have to keep those song lines. It's a literature on its own. So it has to be kept alive and maintained by songmen like him.
The beach at Gove was just like any other beach along the coast, but inland the soil was different. It was bright red. It proved to be bauxite, aluminium oxide, and the white man came to Gove.
Overshadowing all of Wityana's childhood was the struggle against a huge mine which was threatened to be built on the Gove Peninsula, effectively destroying the lifestyle that was so beautiful in this pristine, gorgeous place. One of the people who became an incredibly important spokesperson for the opposition to the mine was Wityana's father.
Roy Marika, MBE. leader of the Yirrkala and a leader of Australia's Aboriginals. The man who was in the very centre of that hot political issue, land rights for Aboriginals.
We like people to come. If the people and Aborigines can make agreement each other.
He was a role model for me. He expected that I would one day be a leader. Watching that, and I think to myself, I'm going to be like him, to stand strong and fight for my people.
The people of Yirrkala have protested to the federal government about the project.
So the elders came together to create a bark petition to send to Canberra to tell the politicians that they wanted to have a voice in determining what was going to happen on their land. But the Yolngu people's views were ignored.
In 1971, the first inhabitants fought back in a court case.
The elders continued to prosecute the case that this was their land, but instead of prosecuting it through the parliament, they prosecuted it through the courts. In the end, Justice Blackburn found that the Yolngu people had no native title claim over their land in British law, and the mine went ahead.
It was a terrible moment, and broken my father's heart, my grandfather, and all the clan. It was just devastating, you know? This is the first place that miners came in and destroyed the site first, the sacred point where rituals start here. This is the place where my ancestors stood. And my next generation, where they were gonna stand here and tall and talk, tall and proud and strong.
When Wityana was a teenager, his dad sent him down south to Melbourne to be a part of a dance troupe to basically teach his culture, his language and his dancing to school groups across Victoria. And he saw it as an opportunity to learn the ways of the Western world. He spoke 13 clan languages, but he hardly even spoke English at that point.
So I thought to myself, I'm gonna learn English. I'm gonna talk like a white man for the good of myself and for the people of Yirrkala, to learn and stand and fight back.
Wityana's uncle was Mandawa Yunupingu, a school teacher in Yirrkala who would rise to become principal. He was also an up-and-coming musician who wanted to go places. Mandawa pretty early on clued onto the fact that Wityana was very talented and they might be able to grow something together.
Yeah, Mandawa saw me dancing and he chose me. He's the one who chose me. And he told me, I'm gonna form a band. Oh yeah? You know, we want to change this world. Instead of singing in English, we can blend English and Yolngu. What a crazy idea.
They started writing songs and singing, and we'd sit around and just listen to them sing.
Reflections in the water I see.
They thought they were a little small band until somebody heard it and said, why don't we record this?
Sharing the dreams of the red, black and gold. Dreams I'm living now in the Yolngu way. Living in the mainstream.
Wityana was a really important part of the image of the band. So he's a very good-looking man, powerful stage presence, powerful voice.
I was the guy who made all the early Yothu Yindi videos. We used to call him the Black Elvis. He's got all of the tribal moves, but he's got this swagger, he's got this Elvis thing going on that he just mixes in at the right time and brings it right up front, and the audience just love it.
And they started writing a little song, Treaty. Everyone loved that song when it came out. You know, everyone played the same song over and over and over.
When Yothu Yindi put out Treaty, everything suddenly exploded. They went from being a backyard band in Yirrkala to being a household name across Australia.
Yothu Yindi. Yothu Yindi.
Their songs started to race up the charts, not just in Australia, but in other countries too.
Okay, this is Yothu Yindi. DC, check this out. You're going to enjoy this.
Treaty was the first time that a song essentially about Yolngu rights, Aboriginal rights, was in the mainstream.
My life just changed, and it was becoming a famous Yolngu rock star. And that puts us up there, the top of the world.
Rock and rolls, you know, there's alcohol, there's drugs, there's just day in, day out, you travel, you perform, and it took its toll. It took its toll on Wityana, it took its toll on Munda.
I was drinking too much sometimes. It was bad to my body. It was just ruining my talent. I was feeling sad. While I was doing that, my father was very, very ill. And I could feel his energy, that he was calling me home. Come back, my son, come back.
Wityana was driving his car out towards the remote community of Ramingining, and Wityana's young son was in the car.
There was alcohol. We came into Kapoya, bending sharp corner, full speed. We was going around the corner and then bang. We just hit the side of the road and then flipped. The car flipped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls. It struck me here.
It was pretty bad. You know, we thought we were going to lose them both.
And it was the biggest wake-up call of his life, because he realised he wasn't going to live if he kept it up, and he was hurting other people.
And that's when he said, no more drinking. I'm going to be an elder.
It was time to come back home and be a leader, to step into my father's footsteps.
Dad said, come home. Come back to the land, come back to the songs, come back to the culture, and that's what he did.
He decided to leave the band. He came home to work with his father, who was then, getting on in age, and he wasn't sure how long he was going to be around, to get from him as much as possible, learn from him as much as possible before his father died.
One of the founding fathers of the land rights movement has died at the age of 67.
My father passed away in 1993.
His father's voice still rings in his ears. that he wants him to carry on his role and to be a person that brings people together, brings reconciliation, brings harmony. A real leader.
Today is a happy, sad day. It's a memorial for my twin brother. A time to reflect about his life and journey.
Wityana was called upon basically for everything around his community, welcoming ceremonies and every funeral.
Welcome, welcome, welcome people that came in today from our brother's memorial.
He's the person who's comforting the woman who's lost her child. He's there in the middle of the night when someone has been run over. Wityana will appear with his clapsticks. He's like a spiritual ambulance, if you like. Every now and then, tensions within the community erupt. Everyone's shouting at each other and there's sort of violence going on. You'll see Wityana, he'll just start with the clapsticks. And he walks straight through the middle of these scenes as he's got a force field around him, and slowly things subdue, and Wityana will just walk up, take them by the hand, remove the weapon, put his arm around him and walk him off.
He's leading the whole show in the community. Wityana is really a peacemaker.
Being a songman is hard. It takes time, it takes wisdom, it takes knowledge.
These ceremony leaders are really, from a cultural perspective, the top of the pile in the community. They're the most important people. It's not a job that pays a regular wage, of course, but without that, your son won't get initiated. Without that, you can't bury a family member that's deceased.
Wityana's role as a ceremonial leader is well respected amongst all the clans. His portfolio amongst the clan that he leads would be the spiritual health of the land and its people.
Wityana appears to be walking in both worlds very effectively these days. So he's managing to maintain his important ceremonial role whilst going off and performing in a band, whilst going off and being a star in a film.
I was making a film called High Ground, which he was helping me produce, and I thought he could play an important part in that film. It's a story that tracks a period in our history of the frontier wars and the massacres, and how the families stood up in the face of adversity and fought. There's an old man in the film who's the elder, the leader, and Wityana stood up, and it was kind of like he was born to do it.
Your uncle has broken the law.
Narum. He wants to know what law you're talking about.
What?
It was my first acting role, and I haven't been to a school or whatever, you know? Nah, it's just natural. Just right there, bang, by the power and knowledge and spirituality.
Nongomrom. This is my law. It comes from the soil, from Mother Earth. Yours come from across the sea.
I understand balance, but in this country...
My country.
So High Ground, in a sense, is about the resistance. And the resistance goes on to this day.
Prominent Gumatj leader Galarrwuy Yunupingu says he plans to lodge a native title compensation claim over bauxite mining land in Gove within months.
Over 50 years after all of the hubbub around the establishment of the mine, the bark petitions, we're back in the courts with a huge case claiming that the Yolngu people were dispossessed without just terms.
The case will hear arguments about whether Yolngu people have a right to compensation.
The court claim wound through the courts for some years, and then it finally made its way to the highest court in the land.
And the opening of that High Court session is incredible. A whole group of Yolngu people, men and women, from different clans, come to the opening of that court session.
And Wityana sat there with his brothers every day during the High Court case, and he'd lead them in every morning with his bilma and song.
Traditional owners in the Northern Territory have had a significant win in the High Court in a landmark case over native title rights.
The High Court decided that the land hadn't been acquired on just terms and compensation was owed.
It could be a huge amount of money. The original claim is for over $500 million, but it's back to the federal court now to determine that.
My father, he would have been the happiest man alive, but he would have been here today for winning the case.
While Wityana was trying to navigate this incredibly difficult court process, at the same time he was struggling with his health.
I was in pain and I had blood tests. I realized that I had a problem with my heart. Your valve is not pumping properly. It was serious. It was serious. I could die anytime, you know?
He was almost skeletal, like he'd driven himself way past any medical barrier. He was running on not even fumes and just doing his ceremonial obligations until he collapsed, as I recall, and yeah, it wasn't looking good.
And then one day he came to me and Will and said, "Oh, they want me to go to Adelaide and have this really big open heart surgery." And he said, "I don't want to."
I was afraid I would die then. Everyone told me that, "You must go, you must go. We want you alive."
Just go. They will help you, those heart surgeons, because we need you. We need you. This community needs you. He hugged us and said, "We're going. I'm going."
Today, we are now standing on sacred ground.
My surgery to fix my heart, it's thunder heart now. Yeah, I can dance and I can sing hard and run.
It changed him. When he came back, he was like full of energy. That he said, "Now I'm going to step out there into the community and step out and just take care of this community."
Good morning, everyone. My families, my board.
Wityana's role is becoming increasingly important in the sense that people are growing old, people are passing away, and Wityana is stepping up.
Only Umara and Bilma. Power.
One would hope that he'll get to the point where he is taking over his father's position as the leader of the Rirratjingu clan.
So over the next few years, there's some fairly complex issues we need to get through. He's got a massive important role to play. And I think because of Wityana's ability to work in two worlds, he's actually going to be a major part of how we do move forward. Rio Tinto have said to us that they're going to close the mine in 2029, but at that point in time, the royalties stop. The town will lose its main current employer.
When the compensation's finally paid out, there could be rivalries, there could be some contention about where that money is going to go and if it's being distributed to the right people in the right clan groups.
I would like to bring the clans together. I want to bring them back as being one people and being unity. There's a better way to live in harmony instead of fighting. Because I wanted to be a leader and a good leader, you know?
So 2025, Yothu Yindi's back. Mundawoy passed away in 2013, and so we're now working on what we're calling a multi-generational band.
And I'm 64, but I'm flying across the stage.
We didn't do any shows for quite some time, but then finally reformed the band, and Wityana was a big part of doing that.
Put your hands together, please. We're one and the only.
Mundawoy, when he's still alive, he would always think that he wants the Yothu Yindi band to continue. That was his legacy.
And I think he'd be proud of Wityana today to be continuing that legacy.
Wityana gets up there and kind of leads the show now. He's the front man in that way because everyone knows that he's the original.
Got two grandkids. This is girl and a boy, two twins.
Look, it's absolutely amazing that Wityana Marika is still alive today with the things that he's had against him.
Yeah.
He was never meant to die or disappear. He's meant to be here and to love Yirrkala and its people.
It's a crazy wild ride from this incredible dreadlocked rock star into incredibly important cultural leader. That was always in him. That is what his father wanted him to be. And I think it's down to be really proud.
Fish coming out. We're the oldest culture on earth today.
Couple. Turme.
You know, always was and always will be. We're here. We're here. And we will be here forever.